This is the Bamboo Pore Refining Mask from Juice Beauty. This is actually revolutionary. It is not a traditional mask that is drying or stripping to the skin, but I actually find it to be quite hydrating. This actually goes on almost like a moisturizer, I would describe it. It feels just like a moisturizer going onto the skin. It's very, very smooth. And then although it does dry onto the skin, it doesn't tighten up the skin. When we turn and learn this ingredients list, we see what's actually in here, why this mask is both hydrating but helps with oil control, and what some of the actual ingredients are. The acids or the hydrators that really help to soothe the skin and help with acne in this area. This specifically starts off with a base of aloe vera as well as apple. Aloe vera is very soothing to the skin, and apple actually has malic acid, which is in this product. Malic acid is an AHA, an alpha hydroxy acid. It has a tiny molecule so it can get into the skin, but it's great for both dark skin tones and light skin tones in the way that it exfoliates. When we go a little bit further down the ingredients list, we do see that clay and that charcoal. These are the things that actually help with the oil control. What's important to mention though is that not all charcoal comes from good sources. This is something that I didn't know about when I first started using charcoal-based skincare 5 years ago. I was under the consumer illusion before I really understood what's in charcoal, when it works, when it doesn't, etc. And unfortunately, charcoal can come from some very morbid places, specifically burning animal bones. You see, charcoal is basically the leftover carbon after all of these other volatile substances from plants or animals are removed. And I didn't know this before, but sometimes charcoal does come from those charred animal bones or those leftovers. Charcoal can also come from coconut. It can also come from palm trees, which I've recently found out, like in the last 2 weeks, about some of the environmental concerns around that. This specifically uses charcoal from bamboo. It's much more sustainable. It's a byproduct of bamboo manufacturing. Bamboo also does have skin benefits, but the charcoal in here is from both a sustainable and an ethical source, which is something that, again, I'm trying to do better as a consumer. I'm trying to turn and learn those ingredients and put my money where my morals are, so this is something that I appreciate. We mentioned that this has that malic acid, that AHA from apples and pears, but there are also other AHAs in here, specifically tartaric acid. This is derived from grapes. It's another AHA, so exfoliating to the skin, and this also has vitamin C from ascorbic acid. This is super brightening to the skin. Vitamin C has also been shown to help in wound healing, and this also has one of my favorite AHAs, which is lactic acid. There's also willow bark in here, and willow bark is where salicylic acid is derived from. Salicylic acid is that BHA, that beta hydroxy acid, and it's been proven in medical studies and by the FDA to help with acne. What's different about salicylic acid from these other acids is that it's oil soluble, meaning that even though it's a large molecule, it can go super deep into the pores and break up some of that oiliness and help the skin exfoliate off. And because it comes from willow bark, which is also where aspirin comes from, it's related to acetylsalicylic acid. Because of that, it might have slightly anti-inflammatory benefits as well. There's also aspen bark in here, which I found to be a very interesting ingredient of choice. Specifically, aspen bark is antimicrobial, and this formula is fragrance-free. This does not contain fragrance if that's something you're concerned about. This does have plant actives, but this is actually something that I do really appreciate about Juice Beauty. They do include a lot of organic ingredients in their skincare, but they back it up with science. I feel like there are a lot of natural brands on the market or clean brands on the market that don't actually do their research. They're just kind of pushing or greenwashing this narrative without actually backing it up. Juice Beauty actually has clinically validated results that they've paid for by third parties to do testing to actually see if the plants that they're using to derive these active ingredients from are working, which from a scientific perspective is very appreciated. And so if you're looking for a hydrating, non-drying face mask, this is what I would recommend.